Wow. So Keith One-Time Thurman, aka Keith Runtime Thurman, stated that he's not interested in a Terence Crawford fight because he was never interested in a Terence Crawford to begin with. Unlike a Danny Garcia, when he moved up from 140, he always had his eye on him. So why you don't have your eyes on Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman? Is it because of the fact that Terence Crawford is the closest thing to Floyd Money Mayweather right now? And you always was interested in a Floyd Mayweather fight. Matter of fact, you were begging for a Floyd Mayweather fight. Now Terence Crawford holds that pound for pound #1 title. He's the pound for pound #1. Unlike Danny Garcia, when he first moved up to the welterweight division, Terence Crawford has a belt. So you killed two birds with one stone, just with one fight. But nah, that's clearly not it. I know what it is. See, I peep a lot of stuff, and one thing that Keith Thurman always stated, he stated that he's fine being the second best. He even stated that when he first turned pro, he said, I was like the second ranked number guy in the world or something like that. So I figured if I turn pro and I'm the second best in the world, I'm content with that. And that's what it is. Keith Thurman got an O, and he's afraid to let it go to a Terence Crawford or an ERROL Spence. That's just what it is. As simple as that. Keith Thurman want no smoke with a Terence Crawford because unlike Danny Garcia, Terence Crawford brings a lot of attribute to the table. He faster than Keith Thurman, got better IQ, has better footwork, has better timing, has better reflexes, and all the above. Terence Crawford's so good, he could possibly beat Keith Thurman fighting him orthodox. He don't even got to switch southpaw. And if he chose to switch southpaw, he could possibly even stop him to the body. Terence Crawford stopped champions to the body. Terence Crawford is comfortable fighting in the inside. That's something Keith Thurman is never comfortable, is fighting in the inside. So when Keith Thurman say that he never had his eyes on Terence Crawford, it's because of the fact that he never wanted to fight Terence Crawford to begin with. Just like he never really wanted to fight Floyd. It was just a money grab. He figured if I fight Floyd, yeah, I'm going to get my ass whooped, but I'm going to get paid. But versus a Terence Crawford, yeah, I'm going to get paid a little bit. But, man, I don't want them problems in my life right now. He always stated, Keith Thurman is always consistent with what he say as far as if I do lose, it ain't the end of the world, but obviously the payday will drop down tremendously. So that's what he's afraid of. He's afraid to lose his championship belt. He's afraid to let his O go. He don't want to lose to Terence Crawford. He don't want his vision to come true, which is becoming the second best. And I got bad news for Keith Thurman. If he end up being the second best at the welterweight division, that's an accomplishment because he's not even the second best. ERROL Spence and Terence Crawford definitely the top two welterweights, and Keith Thurman is not in that class. He's just a walk in the park for either fighter. And especially with that mindset, keep the same energy that you having with Pacquiao right now. Keep the same energy with ERROL Spence and Terence Crawford. He said Terence Crawford didn't beat no real welterweight. But he also stated that Jeff Horn is a real welterweight. And he said that Jeff Horn beat a Pacquiao. He had an argument with Fight Hub, and he was so mad that the guy that was interviewing him from Fight Hub told him that Pacquiao got robbed versus Jeff Horn. And he kept stating that no, he didn't. Just because you win one round don't mean you won the fight. So if you felt that Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao, and that's the guy you fighting right now, and he beat Pacquiao 3 years ago. So he accomplished something that you haven't accomplished yet, and he did that 3 years ago. So he is a real champion. So which one is it? Is he a bum and Pacquiao lost to a bum and that's your biggest fight till this day? Or is Jeff Horn a real welterweight? And then he goes on to say, man, Terence Crawford, you saw how fast he beat up Jeff Horn? He was playing with him. He could have stopped him in 4. So if you feel that way, that's why you don't want to fight Terence Crawford, because you don't want him to play with you, because you feel like you were a real welterweight, just like Jeff Horn. See, I peep through the lines. See, I know how Keith Thurman feel deep inside. He ain't fooling me. Like I said, he said that Terence Crawford played with Jeff Horn. So more credit to him. You told him to go fight Amir Khan. He stopped Amir Khan and he dropped him in the first round. And it took Canelo 6 rounds to land that same punch. Meanwhile, it took Terence Crawford 1 round while he was winning the round. So that's the reason why Keith Thurman got no interest in fighting Terence Crawford, because he knows Terence Crawford will figure out his awkward style in probably a couple rounds. And he don't want them Omaha problems. That's why he turned the fight down already. He already turned down a Terence Crawford fight. And he won't fight Terence Crawford unless it's for $50 million. That's why he stated that a fight with ERROL Spence is not big enough yet, even though ERROL Spence is a bigger name than a Keith Thurman at this point. He sold 47,000 tickets. His last fight, he sold 400,000 pay-per-views. So what is you talking about, Keith Thurman? But like I stated in the past, Keith Thurman is fine being the second best, but he not even the second best in his own division, because ERROL Spence and ERROL Spence and Terence Crawford are the top 2 welterweights. So Keith Thurman need to make up his mind. Either you give Terence Crawford his credit and say you don't want no smoke because he's too good for you, or stop contradicting yourself, because you're talking about Danny, when he moved up into the welterweight division, he was the number 1 at 140. So was Terence Crawford, but he trying to say the division was deep when Danny Garcia was there. Now peep this. Why was the division so deep? Yeah, he beat a Mathise, but Pacquiao just killed the Mathise. We know he was washed, but hey, Jeff Horn beat a Pacquiao. At least Pacquiao didn't wash Jeff Horn the way he did to Mathise. And also, Danny Garcia lost to Herrera. He lost to Lamont Pearson in my book before he moved up, or when he moved up to the 147-pound division. So obviously you don't want to fight Danny Garcia because he was that proven. You wanted to fight Danny Garcia because he was beatable. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford beat the guy that Danny Garcia ducked, which was Postal. Danny Garcia ducked that fight and moved up into the 147-pound division. And we saw what Terence Crawford did to him. He smoked him. So it ain't the fact that Keith Thurman don't want to fight Terence Crawford because he's not proven. Because Terence Crawford is more proven than a Keith Thurman. What is Keith Thurman talking about? You don't want to fight Terence Crawford because you don't see no flaws. And you got an O and you're afraid to let it go. That's the new hashtag for Keith Thurman. You got an O and you're afraid to let it go. So if Keith Thurman doesn't fight ERROL Spence next after Pacquiao, like I said, or Terence Crawford, then we could all say that he's not a champion, he's a chump. And that's the nicest way I could put it. So subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter about them, and if you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And follow Long Tune Boxing on Instagram if y'all like the boxing memes, and follow me on Instagram at AkiTV, and subscribe to my channel at AkiTV on YouTube. And to be continued on the next episode of AkiTV. Peace, and we outie.